go to Gary in Ohio. Gary, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. What are you talking about? Let's get engaged. Let's do it right now. People who study the New World Order, I understand there's different factions within the New World Order. And if you study them very deeply, you understand there's one thing they can't lie about, and that's dates. You talked about Al-Qaeda being a Pentagon puppet before. Well, if you look at the date Al-Qaeda was established, August 11th, 1988, remember that number 11, because the two biggest attacks in Al-Qaeda's history, what they're known for, is an attack on 9/11, which around the world is known as 9/11, and an attack 911 days later in Madrid on 3/11. When you go around and you look at the New World Order, you notice they start planning attacks on certain days, Alex. And since you're born on the 11th, I'm sure you understand a little bit.
You know, I know that the global controllers are totally obsessed with numerology, and they really believe in it. I don't spend my time in things like that one way or the other. I mean, I know they believe in it. I know they think it's sacred geometry and all this stuff. But there's also a lot of big dates where people think things are going to happen and they don't. But I know Madrid, it even came out in the Spanish papers, was a government operation. They were running an anti-terror drill. It turned out it was the cops that did it. And then they blew up some patsies in a building to blame it on them. I know 7/7, the head guy was MI6, who was running the patsies. It appears they were part of a drill. Some of them escaped, so they were shot at Canary Wharf. That all came out in the news, but was buried. The British government actually arrested the guy that made a video about it, exposing it. Incredible. But I actually went over to London right after it happened to cover it. We covered it in my film Terror Storm. But that's basically it. I mean, on the issue of dates, I just look at the facts of the case versus what dates they do it. I mean, look at 7/7, 3/11, 9/11. You're right. Anything else?
Well, if you look at, there's different days of doing it. If you look at, like not just the 11th, the 29th, 2 + 9 = 11. That's the day they crashed the Wall Street on 10/29/1929. If you look at last year, on your birthday, they ousted Mubarak on 2/11, and that ousting Mubarak.
Tell you what, stay there. We'll come back and talk about it on the other side. We'll continue with your calls. Gary in Ohio, finishing up with you. Yes, I know, going back to the Babylonians, Egyptians, you name it, they are obsessed with numerology. And you're certainly right about that, but you were going over the number 11 itself.
Well, in certain factions within the New World Order, they're very obsessed with doing things on certain dates because they understand 11 deals with vibrational energy. Now, and it deals with emotional energy. You are an emotional person. You're born on the 11th. They do things on the 11th, 29, 2 + 9 = 11, because they get an emotional reaction out of people. It goes very deep. Now, you know a little bit about history, so let me just give you the story. On 11/11, at exactly 11 o'clock, the Great War ended. They made sure they ended it on 11/11 at exactly 11 o'clock because you can't have peace on 11. Not possible. Now, if you're into numerology, you understand this, but here's how the story goes. From that peace treaty, there was a country created called the Second Republic of Poland. It was created on 11/11. What country was used to start World War II? Poland.
Poland, yeah.
Exactly, when the Russians and the Nazis invaded. Now, we're looking at World War III of Iran. Interesting enough, Iran, an Islamic republic, was created on your birthday, Alex, 2/11. You see how they put all the connecting pieces into place. JFK, he tried to break the back of the Federal Reserve on 6/4/1963. If you add up the dates, 6/4/1963, add up to 29, 2 + 9 = 11. He signed Executive Order 11/11 that day, 11110. He waited to that day to sign it because he was trying to use numerology to break the Federal Reserve's back. And by the way, JFK was born on the 29th. 2 + 9 = 11. We can go into politics about this. Barack Obama, born 8/4/1961. 8/4/1961 adds up to 29. 2 + 9 = 11. Look at all the people from the Democratic side. Bill Clinton, born 8/19/1946. Add everything up, 38, 3 and 8, 11. John McCain, born on the 29th. Sarah Palin, born on the 11th. You see how they pick their puppets?
Yeah, how are they using numerology if they just so happen to be born on day? I guarantee you I wasn't involved in any conspiracy?
No. People who are born on the 11th and the 29th and who are 11th, they have a certain level of charisma about them, like you. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to laugh at you. It's just that the elite, I know, we're really into numerology, and I probably should study it more before I laugh. It's just. I mean, if this is true, then the people running things are just out of their minds. But I know that they make movies about what they're going to do before they do it. Take Fox TV. Had basically the exact same thing that really happened on 9/11 on TV 6 months before, where the government hijacks a jet by remote control to blame it on Al-Qaeda, to fly it into the World Trade Center to attack Afghanistan, but they use a drill to make NORAD stand down. And then I even talked to the host of the show, and he said, yeah, the CIA approached us and would plant these plots on us. And then the question is, well, why did they want people to know what they were going to do before they did it? And the answer is they're into it, lesser magic. They believe that if they tell you what they're going to do before they do it, that gives it like good hoodoo or whatever when they really do it. And it's crazy. But then people say, well, look, they're in control. There must be something to it. It's just that I know they're into all this stuff. I just don't spend a lot of time looking into it because it's a riddle wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in a McDonald's cheeseburger package. I mean, I just don't know where it's going or what to do. I mean, it just gives me a headache. I just